Stop what you are doing right now. Turn up the volume and listen incredibly closely, because what I am about to break down for you is the single most explosive, terrifyingly high stakes, and completely swept under the rug psychological bloodbath occurring in the entire world of professional sports today. And the mainstream tennis establishment is absolutely terrified to broadcast the reality of what is about to unfold on the red dirt of Rome. We are standing on the precipice of a monumental second-round collision at the 2026 Rome tournament, a gladiatorial death match between Alex Eala and Xinyu Wang. And I am telling you right now, with absolute certainty, that this is not just a tennis match. This is a bitter, venomous, career-defining vendetta that is going to shake the very foundations of the WTA Tour. The so-called experts, the talking heads on the major sports networks, they want to feed you sanitized, boring statistics. They want to pretend this is just another day at the office, but they are lying to your face, because they do not want you to understand the dark, haunting, deeply traumatizing history that is forcing these two warriors onto a violent collision course. So let us strip away every single lie and look at the terrifying reality. Xinyu Wang, a player currently sitting at number 33 inches the world, holding a 15-11 win-loss record for the season. Do not let those middle-of-the-road numbers fool you for a single second, because her year has been an absolutely schizophrenic roller coaster of soaring, unbelievable triumphs and catastrophic, mind-numbing failures that point to a player teetering on the absolute brink of either total domination or a complete mental collapse. Rewind the tape. Look at her best result of the year. A savage, grueling run to the final in Auckland where she battled through the trenches, only to run completely out of gas and get dismantled by Alina Svitolina in a painful straight sets defeat. But you have to look deeper. You have to look at the terrifying giant slayer potential that Wang possesses deep within her DNA. Because just weeks after that heartbreaking Auckland final, she walked onto the blazing hard courts of the Australian Open and absolutely executed world number 13, Noko Skova. Ripped the racket straight out of her hands. Proved to the entire planet that when Wang is locked in, she holds the lethal, explosive firepower to obliterate the absolute best players walking the face of the earth. But here is the massive, glaring neon red warning sign that the media is desperately trying to hide from you. The terrifying secret that Eala and her coaching team are currently salivating over behind closed doors. Wang has a devastating, critical weakness, a fatal flaw that has been violently exposed in recent weeks. And that is the catastrophic, soul-crushing clay court curse that is currently eating her alive. Her worst loss of the entire season. A loss so embarrassing and humiliating that it sent shockwaves through the locker room. It happened just last week in the high altitude of Madrid, where Wang was completely outclassed, outmaneuvered, and utterly destroyed by a player named Samson, a complete unknown, sitting at a ranking of 171 inches the world. Let that sink into your brain for a moment. A top 3-5 player in the world, a woman with elite coaching and unlimited resources, stepped onto the red dirt and got flat out humiliated by a player outside the top 150. How does that happen? How does a professional athlete suffer that kind of catastrophic meltdown on the world stage? I will tell you exactly how. Because clay is not just a surface. It is a living, breathing monster that exposes your deepest insecurities. It strips away your easy power. It forces you to grind until your lungs are burning and your legs are screaming. And right now, Xinyu Wang's form on the dirt is an absolute, unmitigated disaster. Only a measly win or two to her name this entire clay season. Wildly vulnerable, desperate, completely exposed, and sitting directly across the net from her, waiting in the shadows with a razor-sharp knife, is the ultimate wild card. The most dangerous, volatile, and explosive unseeded threat in the entire draw. The Philippine phenom herself, Alex Eala, currently lurking at number 42 inches the world with a 16-11 record. But throw those rankings completely out the window, because Ella is a walking, talking anomaly. A player whose ceiling is so terrifyingly high that she is capable of ripping the crown off the head of tennis royalty on any given day. Listen very carefully, because this is the stat that should send a cold shiver down the spine of every single player in the WTA locker room. Eala's greatest triumph this season did not come against some journeyman filler. It came in the brutal, unforgiving desert heat of Indian Wells, where she stepped onto the court and absolutely dismantled, humiliated, and took the soul of world number 4, Coco Gauff. Do you understand the sheer magnitude of what it takes to beat Coco Gauff at Indian Wells? Gauff is an absolute physical freak, a defensive wall, a superstar backed by the entire American tennis machine, and Alex Eala looked her dead in the eyes and completely shattered her aura of invincibility, proving beyond any shadow of a doubt that Eala possesses the aggressive baseline weaponry, the heavy topspin, and the ruthless killer instinct to rip the racket from the hands of the elite. But just like Wang, Eala is haunted by her own dark, embarrassing demons. Because for all her giant-slaying brilliance, she is plagued by a terrifying lack of consistency. We saw this horrifying inconsistency at the Australian Open, where she suffered her worst, most agonizing defeat of the year, getting totally outplayed by Alicia Parks, ranked 9th